No, I'm not. I want to
okay.
show her the corner.
Okay.
Okay, I had a little bit of problem getting the camera to adjust properly, so anyway, take a 4x4 tile and take like a 6 or 8 brush. I'm going to be using a 6, and I want you to load it with paint, a full load. I don't want it real dry and I don't want it real wet, just like you were going to paint something like a background or something like that. And you can see now as I go up here and I get up here into the corner, I want you to start up in the upper left hand or the upper right hand corner. I don't care where you start. And I want you to start cross hatching. And start with making these X's, and I want you to come back up here. And you keep doing this. And see, right now I have brush strokes. But you keep pulling this paint out. And you keep coming down. And you go back into where it's heavier and you pull it down here. And see how far I've pulled that out so far? Now I backed up on my brush a little bit, so I'm almost at the end of my brush. And make your strokes lighter and lighter so that every time my brush is starting to quack, every time that you're going back and forth like this and you're doing it real light, and if you watch it real carefully, you can tell when it hits, and you might only hit that tile once out of every 3 or 4 strokes. Turn your tile around, and this is something that I can't express enough, and I know because you've painted oils, you're used to having it up on your easel and painting in the same direction. It is so much easier to paint if you can keep it moving around, so that especially when you're doing flowers, you're coming into like this to the centers, okay? So you turn it around and you go the other direction and you keep doing this. And then you know you have to get a little more pressure on it and a little heavier. And maybe you can't do a whole tile with a 6-inch brush, but try an 8 or a 10. And I think that if you get it loaded right, you can do almost the whole tile. See how I'm brushing it out even? It's coming out here further. And I'm putting brush marks in it right now. But I'm going to come back here. I'm going to move it around. And I'm going to come back, and all the time I'm doing this, I'm making X's. I might do 2 or 3 in one direction. I can feel it when it hits. You're allowed to go back into oil in this practice, but just do the oil that you might have blotted your brush on. I do mine on a tile first. I kind of squiggle it around on a tile first, and then I blot it. So I do have some oil kind of laid petally there. But go back to it and keep doing it and keep turning it. I would have this turned all the way around by now if I wasn't trying to film this and show you. But you see how much of that corner that I've done so far? I'm going to go out a little bit so that you can maybe see how much. See, I can see paint all the way down and around here. All the way around. So, and this is, gosh, this is a, I don't know if it's a 6x8 or an 8x10 tile. So it might be a 10x13. But that's a good way to practice and keep a tile just for doing that, even if it's the tile that you put paint out on or that you blot your brush on or whatever. I think that that's a good exercise for you to do to get used to smoothing your paint if you don't feel like you're already smoothing it. But from what I've seen so far, you're doing a really good job. But once again, I'm gonna wipe this off up here. I'm gonna turn this back around so that we can take a look at it. And I want to look at it one more time. It's not a bad idea to actually keep it out somewhere where you can look at it the next day or whatever before you fire it. I'm going to come back in here, and you can see my S. My S starts up here and it comes around and it comes down here. If I were doing this and had started it out right from the beginning and made an S or a C from the beginning, I may not have had as many sprays of buds. If you've ever seen forget-me-nots grow, there's usually a ton of buds. And if you haven't seen them grow before, let me know, because I have them in my flower beds and I have lots of pictures of them. But for now, I think we're good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and get this recorded off for you into YouTube and send it to you. And I probably will let this sit tonight and look at it tomorrow before I fire it. I'll let you know if I make any changes.